Hi, I'm going to talk about some of the ways in which the Yale Center for British Art has manipulated Blacklight to create a website to render its online catalog. Blacklight provides an easily extensible foundation upon which to create a site which uses index metadata to search, retrieve, and display digital content. It has a basic structure of header, search, facet, footer, search results, and item page. Here you can see our YCBA main page. As you can see, I can use facets. And I can do searches. Much of this is accomplished basically through tweaking the catalog controller, adding helper classes, and modifying and creating view partials. The catalog controller specifies the basic search, facet, and show parameters by leveraging Solr document fields, labels, and a means of extensible rendering through helpers. Most fields can be configured simply by adding a label and specifying the source Solr field. Beyond that, helper methods provide more extensive functionality. Even further, one can drill into partials that render the catalog controller configuration. For example, one of YCBA's uses includes pulling in holdings information from a separate data service in the Solr index. To achieve this, the partial in the catalog controller that the catalog controller uses to display item data was extended to fold in another field that calls a method that calls the outside holdings URL, opens a stream to the XML, and renders it seamlessly with the other catalog controller configured fields. So for example, I can go to a rare books object, click on it, scroll down, and you can see the holdings seamlessly in the tombstone data. One of the basic uses of partials is creating the main section of the homepage. Here is the home partial. Here is the carousel of images, rather. This carousel of images is generated by code, which I'll skip to here. The code shows how this works with a set of images by adding an image by a Rails helper method, adding captions, enumerating these as a list, and relying on the bootstrap carousel library to format this as a carousel and clicking on one of the rows of circles given. And this gives a representative sample of the collection center front and center on the homepage. Partials can also be used to add new features. For example, to make the site more keyboard accessible, a div section was added to the header that remains off the screen via CSS unless activated by hitting the keyboard tab key. So if I go back to the home page, tab, and I got a skip nav coming up here. Here, I can click using return button, not using mouse at all, and it highlights the image in the carousel. From there, I can tab to the arrow keys, hit return, and navigate the carousel all through the keyboard. Perhaps the greatest part of the catalog is the rendering of images. Displayed on this page is the embedded Mirador 3 viewer leveraging IIIF. IIIF provides an API consumable by viewers to pan and zoom into individual or sets of images, preserving the highest level resolution of the served image. Here, Mirador 3 is implemented using the Rails Webpacker. First, Yarn, package manager has to add Mirador to the application. Then, a JavaScript application JS is added. This creates the basic configuration by calling an event on page load that attaches Mirador to an HTML anchor tag with a Mirador configuration. Here you can see this. For example, you can see that the light theme is selected, the workspace control panel is disabled, but the zoom controls are enabled. Added also to this are plugins as well. Here you have a few plugins, one that enables download, 2 plugins from Art Institute Chicago to change the default navigation, and another plugin to lessen the size of the opaque caption bar. We're also experimenting with the universal viewer. Here's an example of that. This is particularly favored by our rare books department. It is like Mirador 3, and it comes with a package it be added via Yarn. And from there, we can pull in the basic files from the package into the public directory. From there, the image server is served up local inside the application. As you can see here, here's the code where the universal viewer iframe is embedded into the page. The public directory, in addition to being a convenient place to mount the viewer, can house the sitemap. It's too big to show, but here you can see in the public directory, there are sitemap XML files. These each contain a URL to the item page and makes it easy for Google to pick up our individual objects and display them. So for example, if I went to a Google search, I did Yale, yay. The first hit is our catalog item. This only touches on a few features of Blacklight's extensibility, but I hope it gives a sense of some of the capabilities of the platform.